Authorities are still searching for containers missing after breaking loose from a French-owned ship last Wednesday. The ship encountered bad weather near Durban en route to France from Asia. SA Maritime Safety Authority CEO Sobantu Tilayi joins us to give us an update on the issue. Sobantu, appreciate your time. Just can you start off by giving us an overview of the incident where the French-owned ship lost 44 containers off the Durban coast?
Good afternoon to you, Hugo, and good afternoon to your viewers. The ship had been traveling from the east to France, as you just put it, and she encountered bad weather just south of Durban, and she lost 44 containers overboard. I must mention, Hugo, that we have another ship that also lost containers, 5 containers to be precise, overboard. And that incident happened off Port St. John's. And this is the effects of the rough seas that we've been having, firstly, as well as the effects of the ships being diverted from the Red Sea. Regarding the CMA CGM ship, the big container ship, we managed to sight some containers offshore. But when we try to follow up, we do think that those containers actually sank. We had issued navigational warnings when the incident happened. Fortunately, we did not pick any damage because of those containers. Now, what happens when a container is lost overboard? She would float just under the surface of the water, depending how much air was trapped inside that container. But as that air escapes, the container will eventually sink to the bottom of the ocean if it does not float to the shore where we then can pick it up. We are now certain that none of those containers would still be afloat after this while, and we certainly have not been able to pick up any containers ashore. We did send out aerial surveys, and thanks to the cooperation of the ship owners. So we still have an insurance case open in case we pick up any incidents relating to that cargo overboard.
Sobantu, are you familiar with what was in those containers and the potential harm to the environment?
What we do know, we tested if there were any dangerous goods inside, chemicals, etc. We can confirm that there were no chemicals or any dangerous goods. We cannot confirm that there were no plastics because plastics are not categorized as dangerous goods. So we know that there is no harm due to chemical substances that will go to marine life. But as I'm saying, we're not sure if there would have been any plastics which are also dangerous to marine life.
Now, Sobantu, you indicated that you had been making efforts to try and retrieve those 44 containers, plus the containers from the other ship you mentioned. Who bears the cost of this retrieval?
In terms of international convention, all ships are supposed to have protection and indemnity insurance. So once these incidents happen, the owner would normally notify their insurers. And that's why I was saying, thankfully, the insurance then came on board. They paid for the aerial surveillance. We flew up drones. We flew up on a few occasions. We did have some floating boats just to make sure that there was nothing on the surface. But all of that is carried by the ship owner or the insurer. And this is what happened in both instances.
Now, has the ship owner alerted you to the value of the goods that have sunk in these containers?
No, they did not. Not that they are required to tell us. Remember, ours is to make sure that those containers don't pose damage to the environment or risk to life, and that they are managed successfully. So if the containers sank to the bottom of the ocean, the next question is, do they pose any risk to the environment? And that's where you go back to the cargo manifest. And in both instances, as I'm suggesting, we do not think that there's a big problem there.
Now, looking ahead, what measures is SAMPS implementing to prevent such incidents in the future? Is this one of those things that's preventable, or is it a case of bad weather? It is possible that containers may be lost in transit.
Containers do get lost in transit due to bad weather. Ship owners don't want to have cargo lost because it's obviously a problem for them. What we want to make sure, and in fact there is a reporting protocol when that happens, because then it becomes a risk to navigation. So they're supposed to report those incidents, which they did. And the only thing we can do is to just be vigilant and make sure that we warn all the other marine traffic about the incident.